Bienvenidos! Welcome to another episode of Spain on a Fork. I don't know about you, but for me, this has been such a long week, but the good news, it is Friday, and even better, we've got a great recipe to kick off the weekend. We're talking roasted cauliflower with a bechamel sauce. This dish has the most incredible textures and flavors. It's made with very simple ingredients and it's effortless to put together, folks. This is what great food is all about and truly a dish that showcases the beauty of cauliflower. Let's begin by adding in some cold water into a stock pot. You want to go to about the halfway point. We'll season generously with sea salt and heat it with a high heat. While the water's heating up, let's get the cauliflower ready. I've got a fresh head of cauliflower here. Now, a couple episodes ago, when we made the Spanish garlic cauliflower, I showed you a very simple way on how to remove those florets from the head. In this episode, I'm going to show you another easy way to do that. First, you want to cut the head into 4 evenly sized pieces. And then remove the florets from each piece. You can easily snap them off, or you can just use a knife to cut them off. Once all the florets have been removed from the piece of cauliflower, make sure to cut the bigger florets into smaller pieces, that way they're all evenly sized. And as you finish each batch of florets, transfer them into a colander, that way you have more workspace in your cutting board. Once all the florets of cauliflower are ready, make sure to rinse them under some cold running water to remove any of the excess dirt. Alright, let's move back to the stock pot with the salted water. As you can see, it's now at a full boil, so it's time to add in our florets of cauliflower. I always like to add them in there in batches instead of dumping them all in there at once. That way none of that hot water splashes out. And we're going to cook our florets of cauliflower between 5 to 7 minutes. This is the perfect timing to end up with perfectly cooked cauliflower where it's nice and tender, but it's not going to be mushy and falling apart. After about 6 minutes, those florets of cauliflower should be perfectly cooked. You know, you can always pierce them with a toothpick, and if it easily goes in, but with some resistance, they are ready to go. Once again, you don't want to overcook them, otherwise they're going to get mushy and fall apart. I'm going to remove the stock pot from the heat and drain it into the colander. And we'll shake off any of the excess water in the cauliflower. Then I'm going to grease a casserole dish with 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, which is 15 milliliters. And brush it all around, that way it's coating the entire surface. The size of this casserole dish is 12 by 9 inches, which is 30 centimeters by 23 centimeters. Then I'm going to add in the florets of cauliflower into the casserole dish, making sure they're all in a single layer. And we'll season the cauliflower with some freshly cracked black pepper. We don't need to add any salt here, as we already cooked that cauliflower in salted water, but you can always give one of the florets a try just to see if it needs a little pinch of salt. For the next step, let's make the bechamel sauce. I'm going to heat a large fry pan with a medium heat and add in 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is 30 milliliters. After heating the olive oil for 2 minutes, I'm going to add in 1 shallot that I finely diced, and 2 cloves of garlic that I finely minced. And mix the garlic and shallot around with the olive oil. Very important to mix this continuously, that way the ingredients don't brown too quickly and they all evenly saute. After 1 minute and the ingredients are lightly sauteed, you don't want to brown them too much, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, which is 30 grams. And we're going to mix this continuously between 3 to 4 minutes. This is enough time for that flour to incorporate into the rest of the ingredients and for the flavor of that flour to really cook off. That way it doesn't overpower the flavor of the sauce. After about 4 minutes, it's time to add in the milk. I'm going to be adding a total of 2 cups of milk, which is 475 milliliters, and I like to add it 1 cup at a time. First, I'm going to add a little bit of the milk into the pan and whisk it together. That way you end up with a thick base. Once we achieve a thick base, I'm going to add in the rest of the cup of milk and continue to whisk this together. Now the milk that I'm using is 2% fat milk, but you can also use non-fat or even full fat, or you can even veganize this dish by using any plant-based milk you like. Once the first cup of milk has been incorporated and we've ended up with a thick sauce, I'm going to add in the second cup of milk. And we're going to continue to whisk this together between 9 to 10 minutes or until we end up with a beautiful creamy sauce that has no lumps in it. After about 10 minutes and we've ended up with a beautiful thick and creamy sauce, I'm going to season it with a little sea salt and some freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give it one final whisk, that way those seasonings are evenly distributed throughout the sauce. Then we'll remove the pan from the heat and pour the bechamel sauce over the florets of cauliflower, making sure it's evenly spread all around. Then I'm going to add in half a cup of breadcrumbs, which is 60 grams. And once again, as you're adding in those breadcrumbs, make sure you're evenly spreading them around. Then we'll top it off with some finely grated manchego cheese. I'm going to add in about half a cup, which is 45 grams. The manchego cheese that I'm using has been aged for 6 months, so it's got a nice bite to it, but it's not overpowering. But as always, you can use whatever cheese you like. And for the final touch, I'm going to sprinkle a kiss of sweet smoked Spanish paprika. This Spanish paprika is going to add an incredible pop of flavors to this dish. And we'll add the casserole dish into a preheated oven, 210 degrees Celsius, which is 410 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to let it sit there between 20 to 25 minutes until we end up with a beautiful golden crust on top. After about 20 minutes, I'm going to remove the casserole dish from the oven and we'll sprinkle it with some finely chopped parsley. Our roasted cauliflower with bechamel sauce is done. Such a beautiful presentation, and the aromas coming out of it are mind-blowing good. This is truly the perfect side dish for any meal, or you can even serve it as a main course next to a baguette and a salad. Either way, let's give this a try and see how it tastes. Seriously, folks, check that out. Here we go. Wow. First things first is that cauliflower is beautifully cooked. It's got nice texture to it. So important in the beginning stage when you boil it, not to overcook it. And as for the flavors, you have that beautiful creamy bechamel sauce with the manchego cheese and the kiss of the sweet smoked Spanish paprika. Everything together, an explosion of so many great flavors. You saw this, easy to make, simple ingredients. Try this at home next to some grilled fish and a salad for the ultimate experience. Real quick before I go, a shout out to a couple of my patrons, Aravinda Garimea, Robert Manahan, Tamara Johnson, Darren Allen, and Linda Bufano. Again, guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. For the rest of you, if you're not with me on Patreon and you'd like to support the show so I can continue to make videos just like this one, you'll find my Patreon link in the description box below and iCard above. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button. Till the next time, hasta luego.